still feels, what's the deal? Man, yo, peep game, man. I don't usually like to get on shit like this. I try to keep the channel boxing, strictly boxing, except my video I did for X, man. I had to do that. Rest in peace to the Dark Man. But this really pissed me off. Really pissed me off hearing about this. I just thought it was wild, disrespectful, and delusional. This fake, fat, skinny nigga Joe, man. I'm sure everybody's heard about what happened, you know, what went down with Joe Rogan last week, in particular in the week. Was it last week? I think last week and the week before. What happened with Joe Rogan, and he eventually got he got kicked off for calling the fights on the UFC or whatever the case may be, man. So he's being reprimanded for that. I've been suspecting Joe Rogan for some years now, man. Like, it's kind of a head scratcher, man. A lot of the shit that he's done, the eugenicists that he's brung on his platform, white nationalists that he's brung on his platform. Now, there's black conscious people who have done that as well, just to show their audience that we're not out of this fight. We're not out of the woods yet. We still have a battle on our hands as it pertains, politically and as it pertains to nationhood. So they'll do that. They do that. So it's not so much that he did that, but he has done that. It's like, all right, bro, like, it's a head scratcher right there. But then you sit back and you say, all right, cool. Our scholars have done the same thing for movies that they have done to show the brothers and the sisters that we not out of this struggle. People like this still exist plentifully. So, all right, whatever with that. But for you to turn around, nigga flying out of your mouth, just so nonchalantly, hard ER. I don't give a fuck if it's an A or ER. If you ain't black and you say it with an A, it's just as insidious. And keep it a stack, it's insidious when we say it. Our ancestors wouldn't like that. They wouldn't like that at all. They wouldn't like that at all. So you have him saying that. Then you got people saying, all right, well, he was saying it under a certain context, and he didn't mean it like that. He was saying it in for the sake of conversation, not because that's how he feel. He has a black wife and a black daughter. All right, whatever the fuck ever. But there's no way of getting around his Planet of the Apes comment. That was just completely out of pocket and disrespectful to your own child and your own wife. People get it really fucked up that they think that because you marry a black woman and have a black child, that inadvertently makes you exempt from racism, and that's just not the case. People are really acting as if slavers didn't have black mistresses in the motherfucking in the slave quarters. They've always been attracted to the to the black female organ. They always have been. They always are gonna be. They've always been attracted to the black, the figure of a black woman. Black women they're the pinnacle of curves. Let's not get it fucked up. So that doesn't exempt him from that because he has a black wife and a black child. It was the same thing with Gary Owen when he was doing his goofy shit. Oh, I can't say nigga, but I know somebody who can. He started the sentence and she finished the sentence saying nigga. And every time he would get to the point where it's time for him to say nigga, but he couldn't say it, he looked at his wife and he said, that I can't fuck with that shit, man. But the biggest takeaway from this is, how the fuck does a dude like Fat Joe denigrate Joe Rogan for saying that shit when people have been protesting for years their discomfort with Fat fucking Joe saying the word nigga? This fat fuck has had panels in a room full of black people guilt tripping them into why he should be allowed to say nigga. I don't fucking think so, man. And let's not forget that little stunt that he pulled in the versus battle when he was getting smoked by Ja Rule. We was getting smoked. Oh, them bad, three crackhead bitches over there. Bitch ass nigga, could we say that shit about Cardi B or J-Lo if they was performing on stage with you? You got the game fucked up, man. This fat, skinny, fucking oh man, he gets on my goddamn nerves. Like, I really hate this dude. I really hate him. And this is all to a certain, not even to a certain degree, this is somewhat our fault, because for years we've been wanting Latinos to really embrace their blackness. The problem with that is we're not talking to all Latinos, because you're not black because you're Latino. Is there African ancestry in your roots? It's a possibility, but it's a distant African ancestry. It ain't like how I am. And so because of that, they've gotten to this level of comfort where they feel, oh man, I automatically get a pass as I ain't white. It's Mexicans saying nigga. It's Salvador. There is no black people in El Salvador. They kicked all the black people out of El Salvador. And these motherfuckers really feel comfortable enough to sit there and talk that shit. Nigga flying out of their mouth. And this fat, skinny motherfucker feels all, oh, you know, I done grew up like this is my nigga. I bet you he don't drop the F-bomb. I bet you that F-bomb don't fly out of his mouth. I bet you it don't. The difference is they're in a position politically to really reprimand somebody for doing that. We are not. And there's still some goofball ass Negroes who will sit, you know, who will grovel at the feet of anybody who says, oh, well, yeah, I'm black. Joe is not black. He's not black. That's not a black man. I really need people to understand that he is not black. I wouldn't classify him as white, but he is not black. He's not. His wife is not black. Those are clearly mestizos. Clear as day. But they can sit there and run all that game and mental gymnastics on some weak-minded motherfucker who don't know no better and just wants acceptance and a pat on the ass from every goddamn body. Nigga, no. Motherfuckers have been protesting Joe saying that word for years, and he has made niggas bow down to him for his excuse, for his justification of using the word. I grew up in the hood, I grew up in this and that and the third. Your crew was all Boricuas, bro. It ain't even niggas in your camp like that. It never has been. The only black person you put on is fucking Remy Ma. Your whole TS squad, Pun, Tony Sunshine, and Cuban Link, them was not no black folk, bro. You ain't put on for niggas like that. I hate when people do that shit. Oh man, I'm from the hood, this is where I'm from this and that and the third. As if there's not the biggest Puerto Rican population in the Bronx. Man, get the fuck out of here. No. This shit is getting ridiculous, man. For you to sit here and think you have leeway to reprimand somebody for that use of the word when you have been consistently protested for using that word is just the biggest slap in the face and a wow factor. You got me fucked all the way up. You don't get to call Joe Rogan a racist when motherfuckers have asked you for years to stop saying that word. Imagine being you the only pale-skinned mestizo in the room, in a room full of black faces, and you are making these niggas bow down to you for your justification of using the word. That shit is outrageous to me, man. And it's real unapologetic in how you use it. Oh, well, yeah, there's white niggers out there. Who the fuck are there white spics out there? No, you Puerto Rican. Are there white Germans out there? And I'm sorry for having to say that to my Latino, the few subscribers that fuck with me and watch my channel, but it's just no way, there's no other way around trying to get the motherfuckers that we got a problem with using that word to understand how that shit feels. You gotta present it like this. Those are not words that I use. If I get mad at a Latino, I don't get to flying out my mouth with any sort of racial epithet I can think of. I don't. That would be insulting to my wife and my children. I don't do that. And even if I wasn't married to her, I still wouldn't do it because it's just not a classy thing to do. Because it's Latinos that I fuck with. I don't need to disrespect them to really put you in your place. I don't. But in this context, I need you to understand how problematic what you're doing is. Don't get on Vlad TV talk, oh, well, there are white niggers. ER, hard ER, yeah, there are white niggers. And think your fat, skinny ass gets a pass to say that shit. Oh, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm tired of these motherfuckers talking about this. Oh, this is just a New York thing. They say it everywhere. You go to the you go to the Native American reservations, they saying it on them reservations. Pine Ridge, South Dakota. They saying it on there. They saying it amongst the Asian community. Don't talk that bullshit that is just a fucking New York City thing, because it's not. The word has been so diluted that any and everybody think that they can just say it because they come from a hood environment, man. But we have to be respectful of y'all nation. We got to be respectful of y'all feelings and how and show empathy to how y'all would feel if somebody uses a racial epithet towards y'all, even in brotherhood. We got to be respectful of that. We got to be respectful for that. While y'all can just talk that nigga shit, and the minute we go to chastise y'all for that shit, y'all want to hang on to the smallest and the most smidgetest of fucking black ancestry that you have fucking centuries or decades back in your genetics. No, bro, fuck no. I'm tired of that. I'm sick and tired of that shit, man. I'm sick and tired. Latinos are getting entirely too much leeway. Not even getting. Y'all have gotten entirely too much leeway to get away with this shit. And this is where the fuck we at. How you gonna condemn somebody for doing the same shit that you do? Oh, well, he's different. He Puerto Rican. He Cuban. Fuck does that mean? He ain't black. He's not a black Dominican. He's not a black Puerto Rican, and he's not a black Cuban. He's not even. Laz Alonso is a black Cuban. Ozuna is a black Puerto Rican. Joe is not that. Gina Torres is a black Cuban. Fat Joe is not that. He's not. How the this shit is just really getting ridiculous. We're not asking mestizos to own their blackness. Why? Because they have a lineage that they are clearly, you can see physically that they are attached to their indigenous ancestry. We're not asking them to own their blackness because it's a very small percentage of African genetics swimming in their bloodstream. I'm talking about black folk who look like me, that come from these Spanish-speaking nations. That's who we're talking about when we say own your blackness. Stop running away from that shit. That is a slap in the face, man, for it like that. And just think about how audacious that is. Think about that. Just think about all the years we have been protesting Joe to stop saying, and what a coinky-dink that both of they fucking names are Joe. We have been wanting this dude to stop saying nigga for years. We have protested it for years, and he has made niggas bow down to him so he can continue to say that shit and escape ramifications of it. He's done that. All the interviews I don't watch, like at some point you gotta say, all right, man, I'm ruffling feathers. This shit just ain't cool. This ain't cool. I'm getting a lot of pushback from the people that I allegedly fuck with for saying this word. So maybe I should just stop saying it. Maybe I should just stop saying it. It's not cool. Got a lot of fucking nerve, man. A lot of nerve. And because don't nobody know how to really put it in context how it's problematic, motherfuckers don't say shit. They don't say shit. They just leave the shit. They just let the shit slide. Oh, he black. Remy Ma talking about this white boy is black. Wow. That pale face is not black. You are black, Remy. Your husband, Papoose, is black. You know black when you see it. You're not Afro because you're Latino. I just, man, I'm sorry. Y'all ain't even gotta watch this video, but I had to speak on that shit because that shit is bothering me. How the fuck does a fucking a motherfucker that we've been asking for years to stop saying nigga condemn somebody for saying nigga? Oh, he's a piece of shit. He's a racist. What are you? You can't be no ally to us. No, not when we've asked you in bulk to stop saying that word. Not when you sat up there and said what you said about Lil Mo and all of them on stage with Ja Rule. You're not an ally to one of us. You're not one of us. You get no love from me. Fuck fat fucking skinny Joe. And I mean that. I mean that. That man ain't said a word about, well, yeah, there's black Latinos until in the now where it's like coming into, he said that was about 2-3 years ago. Oh, well, yeah, there's black Latinos, yeah, Latino. When it's now, it's no other way to run from the shit. Now when we're exposed to the world via social media and all that, and you can't hide them black faces in them little villages that you could have normally did in the 90s and the early 2000s before mass media, you can't hide them from society no more. So now we exposed to it, so now it's time to admit that shit. Black and Latino never came out of Joe's mouth until that time. I don't want to hear shit from this fat fuck nigga, fat skinny fuck nigga, ever. Talking about blacks and like, you got me fucked, man. Fuck Fat Joe.